Buonasera, bentornato nella mia cucina. Hi, and welcome back to my kitchen. Tonight we're going to make chicken cacciatore, but in a white wine sauce instead of the usual traditional red sauce. So tonight we have our chicken. We have chicken thighs and chicken breasts, all with the bone. Mushrooms, these are baby bella mushrooms. We have a sweet onion. We have a green bell pepper. We have freshly crushed peppercorns, and we have our spices: garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, thyme, and a little bit of marjoram. And over here we have our wines, our olive oil, our chicken broth, all to make our chicken cacciatore in white wine. So we're going to start, and I'm going to start by cutting the mushrooms. When you cut things, you always want to make sure that your fingers are inward and never outward. So we're going to just cut our mushrooms up. And I use a package of mushrooms because when mushrooms cook, they always cook down and they always end up shrinking. So you end up with a lot less than what you started with. So this is going to cook down nicely. And also the same with onions. As soon as onions start cooking down, you end up with a lot less volume. So here we have our mushrooms. And we're just going to put them back on the plate. And we're going to take our chicken over to the sink, and we're going to give our chicken a salt bath. So here we are, and we're going to put our chicken, and this is cold water with kosher salt. I'm just going to put our chicken in there. And I always will say, when you're handling chicken, please be very careful and wash your hands thoroughly, and never put raw chicken or uncooked chicken back on a plate and not wash it. So we're just going to move the chicken around on our salt bath. And then we're going to put it into this little casserole here with the paper towel. We're going to dry it off. Pat it nice and dry so that the water is not on it. Take it back here, and we're going to put it on our cutting board. I'm going to lay it out nicely. I'm going to start with a nice generous amount of sea salt, sprinkle on top of each piece. Then we're going to start. Now, I crushed these peppercorns in the pestle and mortar, and we're just going to take them into a strainer and just shake it around. And it gives it a nice freshly cracked pepper taste. And we're going to do our garlic salt. I'm sorry, garlic powder, not garlic salt. Garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of oregano. I'm going to put oregano in my hand, and I'm going to do that with it. I'm going to do the same thing. This is marjoram. This is powdered thyme. Anything powdered, you really don't have to rub it in between your hands because nothing to rub. Sprinkle that nice. Okay, now we're going to go over to the stove. So here we are, and I have a nice big cast iron skillet. which has been heating, and I'm going to turn the flame up to medium-high. And what we're going to do is we're going to add some butter. We need about 2 tablespoons of butter to our pan. And we're going to just add a little bit of olive oil to prevent that butter from burning. Just a little bit. And we're going to chop up some garlic in there, fresh garlic. Okay, we're just going to take our butter and move it around a bit. Okay. We're going to take our chicken pieces and we're going to put them bone side up to start with. Just make sure your pan is hot enough, which I'm pretty sure that it is. Okay. And we're going to let those saute until they're nice and golden on top. We're going to flip them over and we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. We also, since we season the top of these, we're also going to season a little bit of the bottoms as well. Our chicken is nice and golden on top, and we're just going to flip them over. And notice how the garlic is not burning. You don't want the garlic to burn because that gives it a bitter flavor. So you're going to have to be careful of that. Alrighty, so our chicken is now brown on both sides. What we're going to do is we're going to get a nice heavy Pyrex dish in the oven. We're going to take our chicken parts and we're going to move into here. So now we're going to take our stuff that we prepared before, our bell peppers, our sweet onion, and our baby bellas, and we're going to just dump them right into the pan. And we're going to let those saute for a few minutes. So this way they get nice and cooked. And what we're going to do is we're going to also season this as well. Our vegetables have cooked down nicely, our bell pepper, our mushrooms, and our onions. And to that, we're going to add our 3/4 of a cup of white wine, our 3/4 of a cup of sherry, and our chicken broth. And we're just going to add that. And we're going to let that, I'm going to turn the heat up on high because I want the alcohol to cook off. So I'm just going to get that to a nice boil. I'm going to let the alcohol cook off of that, and we're going to reduce the liquid a little bit. Okay, so our liquid has reduced a little bit. We don't want it to reduce too much. And we're just going to sprinkle in a little bit of, this happens to be gluten-free flour, which is a thickening agent. And we're just going to sprinkle a tiny, tiny bit in because I happen to like it, the sauce a little bit thicker than everybody else. So we're just going to work that in there a little bit. So we're going to turn your heat off, and we're going to take our hot, and cast iron is heavy, so I have to have it from both ends here. And I'm going to pour it into the chicken casserole dish. Okay. And this is some fresh basil, and we're just going to take some basil and put it in there. And we're going to take a little bit more of our chicken broth. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover it in tin foil. And we're going to put it into a 400-degree oven. We'll leave it in there for about an hour at 400 degrees. Make sure it's covered nice and tight. Okay, so our chicken has been in the oven for an hour. And I'm just going to turn the timer off. I'm going to take our chicken out. Allora, so there you have it. We have our chicken, we have our vermicelli sweet potato noodles done with sesame seed oil, garlic and onions, we have sauteed string beans, and we have jasmine rice. And that's our dinner for tonight. Andiamo tutta la tavola e buon mangiare. Ciao!